Alright guys, so what we're looking at is the light unit for the pool balls that are on the bottom of the play field. Now, it's quite a unique panel at the back there. And one of the problems I've got is, let's come this side, and you'll probably find it is these spin. And of course, I'm getting a bad connection. Now, alright, I've got LEDs in here. But within each of these units, let's get a little trick. So you're going to use a magnet. If I've got a magnet on that side, you can actually push out. There's a little spring inside. So let's get that out first. Make sure to use a tool which is good enough to get them out. I'm just going to use a wee file now. And what will happen is that spring will fall out, stick to that magnet. All the other ones come out easy, and then as soon as I go to record it, it's like, no, I'm having none of it. There you out now. There we go. You can make that out. So that's inside. You tend to find that, look, that one's got a broken bit in it. So that can short out on the side of the cabinet. But what it's also done is it's brought that height of that springiness down, because this section here sits inside and that moves up and down under the pressure. So my goal is to give this a little lift, just to tighten a bit of tension on the spring, get rid of the broken bit. I think that's already fell off. Maybe widen this up just a touch here. So I've got a file. I just realised it was off the screen, sorry. So I'll start again. It's when you can't see the screen, you see, you don't know where you are. So I've got that file in. And what I'm going to try and do is just widen these little bits here. I'm just going to push it on, give it a twist, and it might just give me a little bit more width to jam, so this doesn't go as far inside the switch. And while I'm at it, I can give it a little gentle file over. Just clean off any rustiness or gunk or whatever. So I'm not going to put that back in yet. I'm going to show you my trick to fix this loose bayonet fitting. You won't believe what I'm going to do. We've took the little spring out of the inside of there. And then if you look inside, you have like a bayonet fitting that the bulb clips into, and these lugs. And then there's a perfect hole, goes right the way through to the back. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try my best to show it. So that is fixed onto this plate. It's been riveted on. The best way of explaining it is, that's the plate. A bit of metal comes through. Well, it's a circle, and then it's compressed against this plate with a couple of washers in it. Then you've got your middle pin, or the spring in that case, that spring that I took out first, that goes through, and then your bulb touches the bottom, your bayonets clip into the side of the... So this works its way loose over time, and the problem is, I haven't got a tool to clamp all of them down. So there's a few of them need done. And I thought, how can I do that? How can I fix it? So I came up with that and that. It's a pop rivet gun. Now normally you've got a hole, put your rivet in, gun on the top, and you pull the rivet through. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm putting the rivet in backwards. Put the rivet gun on the back. You can see it, push it all the way on, and then pull that rivet. So what I'm now doing is pulling the rivet towards the rivet gun and putting pressure on this lug and this lug, this lug and this lug, and I'm pinching them back together to give me tension. Now, one thing you've got to be careful of, the benefit of using a rivet gun is it will snap, so it can come clear, but make sure, which I've forgotten to do, I'm just going to leave that hanging for a second. You put your magnet on the end, so that doesn't come flying out, because remember you've got a bit of glass and you don't want it to go into all your components. So I'm now going to clamp that up until it can no longer, sometimes you've just got to give it a little push to get that last little bit in. Magnet back on the end, and then what will happen is that will snap. That will snap off, or you can just pull your pin back out. Just depends on your particular rivet gun, how easy it comes apart. This is a bit of an old one. Right, I need to push that in a little, just a touch further so I can snap it. So I want that to go all the way in. So I get that tension. I don't know why that's not going in. It's going to make a liar out of me now. No, that's fine. It was stuck. So there you go. I've got it all the way down now. I've already nipped it up quite a bit, so it's not far off snapping. So we go, there we go, nice and tight. Now the good thing about it is, because these rivets are crap, they break easy enough. I can't turn that now. That is tight. So I've got a couple of others that I like it, see? That one I've already done. That one needs done. That one's quite loose, that one. So that's next on the agenda. So I'll go through all of them, but you might find that you've got this type of switch. I'm going to go zoom in and do a bit of a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. You can fix them, you can retighten them back up without worrying about what can I do to fix this. Right, so let's get this zoomed in. Ooh. So if you can see, there's a perfect hole there. Let's see if I can get the zoom to work better than what it is. Not the best with this. There we go. So that's without the pin in. And you'll notice at the back, there's the spring. You can just see the spring in the centre of that bottom, that one there. If you turn it round, you might see the circle. So I've clamped that side, middle of that circle, to the middle of that circle. So that rivet's been nipped back up again to give it some tension, and it's just locked that back in place. So that's for that particular one. Unfortunately, switches like... Let's have a look, what's that one? That's good, that one. Oh, there we go. Like that one there. See, that's plastic. I think that is when I have to look at taking that out and using some photo. There must be a tool out there that we can figure out how to reclamp them. Other than that, it's a replacement. You know, I think they're only a couple of quid each to buy a new light unit, but luckily I've not got that many that are faulty. It only seems to be those weird ones. And the good thing about it is the ones in the back box lights are the same style. So if I've got any of them, I can actually get to them from the back box without I can get to them in the back box without actually having to take it off. Just go in there with the rivet going and... But remember to put a magnet on either side, because it catches the broken bit of rivet that shoots off. Because some rivets don't want to release the metal bar, so you're going to end up being stuck on like I was until I managed to crack loose the handle. You know, so just a little tip like that. Quick magnet just to catch anything, and then if it's magnetized, give it a tap just to with a hammer to get, and I mean a little gentle tap just to remove the magnetism. Right, let's put that little spring back in there. You know, precision screwdriver, would you believe it? I think that's a mobile phone repairing screwdriver. But what I've done now is I'll put that on there like that. I've got a guide then. So when I put it back in, I've already got my guide hole, because I've got my screwdrivers long enough. It'll fit in there, but it's also got enough space for this spring to go in. Now I did think about widening this bit up here to give it a bit more tension on this end, but then you might struggle to get the spring back in. And, you know, really, it's like a screw thread. It's a little bit narrower there, so it goes in. So, and don't be scared to, you can see the, I don't know if you can see the back of the screwdriver, and then I'll just push that in, give it a little wiggle. I prefer to do it from the front, to be honest, because I can feel that. Okay. So there's the spring there now. Okay. Now it's not in all the way. It's just on the outside. It's only a little bit of it sticking through. You put a bulb in. No, that is so tight now, putting the bulb in. But as you gradually push it down, it actually slots it back into place. If you find that you've got one which is difficult, it's sticking, it doesn't want to do it, then I'll just use the slightly wider ones just to give it another click, so it pushes it down one more click. And then the bulb in like that. Actually the bulb's turning now, not the bayonet. I think I buggered that bulb. But that is nice and tight. That's not moving anymore. So which was the next one? Was it this one? One of them was quite loose. It was that one. Now, of course, one of the other things you find out you can do, if you find that these are all fine, none of them are spinning, but you're getting a bad contact. That is quite firm, that, to be honest. It's not turning that easy, it's only because I'm under pressure. So if you find that your bulb isn't quite contacting, it's a bit temperamental, you can pop the spring out. I don't know, I'm just not using a magnet like I said. Now this one's shorter. See how much shorter that one is? Can you see? So that's, over time, that's compressed. so it's putting less pressure on the bottom of the bulb. So you might find that when the machine vibrates that this loses contact and then you get a flicker. So one of the other things is just have a look at them and see if you can adapt them without breaking them. But I have noticed that I've took some of these out and part of the middle of the spring is missing. So this one that does need a little bit of a stretch. Again, before you do any adjustments, keep it on something so it doesn't spring off somewhere, because it's so easy for that spring to do what it wants. So it says it in the name really, doesn't it? Spring, spring. So I'll put that on there and I'm keeping it at that end. I'm just giving it a slight pull. So I'm keeping it straight as well. But I've put a little bit more height in that spring. And that will give over time because of its age. Let's have a look. Oh, that's tight, tight as a nun's vestry door, you know, when it's been a bit wintry. I'll start that again, shall I? That's nice and tight now. I can't even turn that. So the next thing is put the little spring back in, which is here. Put the little spring back in. And I've got all these to do, so I'm not going to bore you by making me watch. Making you watch me do every one. And springs in there. Well, that's so tight. So yeah, I thought about soldering, putting blobs of solder on the side to try and stop this from moving, but it really didn't stop the main circuit from getting a good contact. The feed 2, each bulb was not getting a good contact. And of course, making sure as well after I'm done that none of these contacts touch this earth plate, because that wouldn't be helpful at all. There we go. Just feel them all. I'm a bit of a cheat, I've actually done some already, and I thought I should show you this hack because I'm sure there's a few of us been in that predicament. There we go. So I'm happy with that. Let's put that LED bulb in. And I only put the LEDs in the likes of these. I don't put them in the playfield lights because this specific set wasn't in far enough. This specific set only points directly up. So you'll see probably like the player 1 to 4 and the balls in play, they flicker because of the LED. Still, I've done a good job on that one. It's now nice and high, but we still need it to compress. Where's that bulb going in? There we go. Bit more. There we go. There's the click. I think it clicks about 4 times when you put them in. And of course, keeping an eye that none of this is touching the side. Under compression, it shouldn't. The pin on the bulb. We'll pull that centre. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. That's better. Come on, Phil. Now, if I just pushed it firmly the first time, it'd go on. But I didn't. It's been a bit of a wuss. See, that feels loose. But when I push the bulb, it's been pushed forward. So I know there is a contact there. It's just the bayonet's maybe not gripping it as well. So that's that done. And hopefully a bulb unit like that you can sort yourselves with that little cheeky hack. I've got to figure out how to do the others now. So there you go. That's all the bonus lights lit up. They're flicking because they have LEDs on them. And now let's throw that down the out. Oh, let's watch them wipe off. And as you can see there, when it reset, it went to number 2. So that's something I need to look into, because I'm sure I've seen a gameplay, a video of this being played where just the number 1 lights up. So, unless I've got a unique machine. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully it's been a bit of a help for a unique light cluster than, you know, the others, because that was unique. I thought to myself, how am I going to fix this? You know, I'm not going to be able to get a replacement one of these. But that's all cooking on gas now. So, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!